Pippa Middleton was launched into the spotlight when she took on the role of bridesmaid at Kate, Princess of Wales, and Prince William's fairy tale wedding in 2011. That day cemented the 39-year-old's ties to the royal family, with the socialite often seen at big engagements such as King Charles's coronation. Although she is the younger sister of the future Queen, Pippa has her own ties to aristocracy, too. It has been reported that Pippa and her billionaire husband, James Matthews, who celebrated their wedding anniversary in May, will one day inherit titles. Speaking on the Royally Obsessed podcast last week, royal commentator Roberto Fiorito spoke of the exciting prospect that Pippa will take on a kind of royal title. She explained, "Interestingly, James Matthews's dad is the Laird of Glen Affric, which is a 10,000-acre estate in Scotland that he will inherit one day, making Pippa the Lady of Glen Affric one day, which is a kind of royal title, which is exciting. She sort of joins her sister with a royal title there." James's father, David Matthews, bought the estate in Scotland near Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands in 2007. After buying the estate, he made it into a high-class hotel, where Pippa and Kate's brother James Middleton had deer-stalking parties, according to The Times in 2018. At the same time as buying the estate, Mr. Matthews technically inherited the Laird of Glen Affric title. When the time comes, if the estate is still in Mr. Matthews's possession, it is likely that James would inherit the Laird of Glen Affric title. However, it is argued that this is not quite the equivalent of the aristocratic titles held by the likes of the Prince and Princess of Wales and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Royal commentator and author Marlene Kinnig, speaking to the Duchess Diary last year, explained that Laird is not a peerage title, like Baron or Duke, and is more like a description of land ownership than a royal title. Similarly, the Court of Lord Lyon told the Law Society in Scotland in 2012, the words Lord and Lady apply to those on whom a peerage has been confirmed and do not relate to the ownership of land. Ownership of a souvenir plot of land is not sufficient to bring a person otherwise ineligible within the jurisdiction of the Lord Lyon for seeking a coat of arms. However, if James does inherit the title, Pippa could choose to use the title, but historians have noted that lairds' wives stopped using lady in the 18th century, and would instead take on their husband's full name, meaning she would go by Mrs. James Matthews. Ms. Kinnig explained, David Matthews is English, not Scottish. He can be called David Matthews of Glen Affric. Don't miss: Kate could have ditched sister Pippa as style twin for another royal. Insight: Pippa and Kate have similar styles, but one sister has a bigger budget. Report: Inside Carol Middleton's plans to step down from firm as new buyer confirmed. Analysis: She continued, his son, James, can be styled as James Matthews, younger of Glen Affric, or James Matthews, Yer. His wife would be Mrs. Matthews, Yer. But the family plays no real role in the area, as the estate itself has largely disappeared. The family has no historic ties to the area, and Matthews bought it to develop and make money. He could sell it to another business, for example. Instead, she said Pippa had simply married a very rich man who is the son of a very, very rich man who owns several hotels and who once bought a proud historic estate. Pippa's husband is a hedge fund manager, who was formerly a professional race car driver and is worth more than £2 billion according to The Sun's estimates. James, who is the older brother to the former Made in Chelsea star Spencer Matthews, spent his childhood split between St Bart's and Conton Manor, Lincolnshire. His father also owns the Eden Rock Resort, which has been visited by the likes of the Rothschild and Rockefeller families in the past, in St. Bart's in the Caribbean. Pippa and James announced their engagement in 2016, reportedly following the now 47-year-old popping the question during a trip to the Lake District. The pair, who now have 3 children together, tied the knot on May 20 the following year at St. Mark's Church, just miles from where the Middletons grew up.